Dan Potter back live at Ford Field in Detroit as we anticipate the step off of the 2019 Drum Corps International season. As Jeff was saying before the break, there's been quite a bit of talk about uniforms versus costuming going into this season. If those are the two words you choose to use, I don't know. The Corps have to wear something to perform, and anymore, what they're wearing is very thematic and very much geared toward the show that they're performing. So let's talk a little bit about what goes into those kinds of decisions, uniforms versus costuming, and what the Corps' look is going to be. Darcie Aungst is program coordinator with the Cadets. Hi, Darcie.
Hi.
And Steve Trull, is with DeMoulin Bros and Company, who is the uniform supplier to the Cadets.
Thank you for having us, Dan.
Well, we're glad to have you here. So let's go through this whole process. Does it start with the show concept and then the uniform grows out of that?
Yes. So when the design team met in September, we did an activity that was, what do we want to keep doing? What do we want to stop doing? And what do we want to start doing? And one of the things that we really wanted to keep was some of the tradition that goes with the Cadets. We actually had pictures of as far back as we could go with the Cadets. And so some of the things you see on the uniform this year is a tribute to the original Cadet uniform.
Every Corps tries to retain identity even when they go in new directions, right? So how did that figure when you knew that's what you wanted to do? What was the next step?
So, and I think I'll go back and answer your first question. I think when you costume, you can put different performers in different things that go with the show, say in theater. But I think when everybody's in the same thing, it becomes uniform, right? And so the big debate, whether it's a uniform or a costume, I think it's both. But because everybody in the Corps is wearing the same thing, it is uniform. So to throw back to that, we really considered the original designers, but we wanted to bring the Corps, the alumni, the members now, and the original designers back together. So you'll notice some things on this year's uniform. The frogs and the braids are coming together over the heart of the performers.
I think do we have some pictures, Jeff, that we can show of this? And Steve, as we look at these, you then got contacted by Darcie, right? Who was your point of contact, and how does that work?
The way it started out is Joe Heiniger actually did the original design, and Joe is a very talented, very creative individual, and has worked with Cadets for the past several years on this project. Joe had met with Darcie and with her staff of creative talent, and they came up with the concept. From that, we get an art rendering, and then we built a prototype.
An art rendering, or does it take several different sketches and art renderings?
We started with one, and it did have some modifications, but we built the first prototype from the first one.
Wow.
And then we made some color changes after that, and finally arrived at what we were all satisfied with, and which is what you will see tonight. And, I think the uniform has a historic element to it. But at the same time, as Darcie mentioned, there are the cadet features, as always, and it sort of is about the unity and togetherness that this Corps is really representing today.
What are the trends that you're seeing, Steve, in uniform design? Are high school marching bands and college marching bands following that costuming trend, or is it different depending on the group?
College marching bands are a bit more traditional and have a very strong alumni following, so it's a little more difficult for them to incorporate as many costumed elements as a high school and certainly as drum corps. So we're seeing a lot of printed designs and a lot of more color added into the uniform through the result of printing, which we've been doing for a very long period of time. It is just now becoming a very popular feature for particularly high school uniforms. Drum Corps is a bit different because now the costuming element has even more to do with this year's program and maybe only this year's program. I think that's fair, wouldn't you say, Darcie?
Correct.
The fabrics have changed too, haven't they?
Yes, they have. Fabrics today are much lighter in weight, and they have all kinds of performance properties to make the student able to move easier, cooler, more comfortable, very much like retail wear that you are seeing in retail stores today.
DeMoulin Brothers and Company is our title sponsor for this tour premiere and for this broadcast, as a matter of fact. Why is it important for DeMoulin to be involved in this way?
Dan, we feel like DCI and everything that it represents is exactly what our company wants to be a part of. We feel the same way about the cadets, and we have for decades. There are certain traditional values there and things that well represent the DeMoulin brand, and we're very happy to be here and be a part of everything that's going on this evening and all summer long.
Darcie, yeah.
We're very happy to be partner with DeMoulin because of the quality. I mean, the jackets, he spoke about performance wear, but if you were able to touch and feel the 2019 Cadets uniforms, they are quality uniforms.
Okay, well, let's talk about the show just a little bit. I was joking with Jeff Griffith. I can't wait as the stadium announcer to say, "Behold, the Cadets."
That was the plan.
Well, good. Can you give us a little tease about what we're going to see and hear from the Cadets?
I will. I just want to say two more things about the Corps uniform. You will notice there are 5 stripes on the knee pad. That represents the 5 decades of women in the Cadets Drum and Bugle Corps. And like I said, you'll notice the bringing together, but you'll notice gray pants, and that was the callback to that West Point. What the legend is that the original designers based the original Corps uniform on the West Point Cadets.
Okay.
Yes.
So 2019, Behold.
Behold is really a story about the struggle for equality. Some people have described it as a female empowerment show. I do not think it's that. I think it is a story of equality. And when you say things like female empowerment, it doesn't get to the heart of being equal, right? It's not having power over somebody else. It's about reaching true equality, whether that's based on gender or race, and anything, right? Where that's the aim. And so the last song really, to me, sounds and will look like equality.
You know, it's no secret that the Cadets have been through a couple of years of turmoil. Mm-hmm. Will you kind of give us an insight into the temperament and the tenor of the Corps right now? How does it feel?
It feels incredible. I have never met a more trusting, open-minded, hardworking, just kids who are persevering. You know, it's a big leap of faith when they signed on the dotted line to march here, and it's been incredible. I walked down the stands at rehearsal, and the kids are like, thank you for the show. I've never had so much fun doing a show before. We really tried to design a show that everyone in the Corps could connect to, because it is about equality. And you know, we tried to arc the story to match anyone who's ever been underestimated, underserved, kind of come up from a really difficult circumstance and power through and rise up.
I can hear the emotion in your voice
Yeah,
as you
I'm
talk
getting
about
choked
this
up.
show. You are.
The funny part is the rest of the staff said, "Don't cry."
She's not crying, but she's
But
getting
I'm
emotional.
close. I'm getting emotional.
It's passion is what it is.
Yeah.
Darcie, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And Steve, I appreciate it. Steve Trull with DeMoulin Brothers and Company, and Darcie Aungst, program coordinator of the Cadets. We're live on the field, Ford Field in Detroit. The DCI 2019 tour premiere coming up. We'll have more in just a moment.